What's the cutest thing your pet has done? My brother's dog was laying in the stairs yesterday. My parents' stairs have a gap in the railing bars, big enough to stick my face through. So as I was walking by, I stuck my face in to talk to the dog. He ever so gingerly bopped me in the nose with his nose. Too cute. My cat, then a very tiny kitten, he was a rescue from the yard and we never found mom, laid on my face after my wisdom tooth surgery and batted my husband away every time he tried to get close. They've worked out their differences now that Hess not a baby anymore and my husband is his day person and him his night person. He does the typical cat cleaning routine, licking his paws and then using them to wash his face. Then he falls asleep mid-clean, paws up over his nose. Cutest thing ever. Hess a 75 pounds Doberman mix. I have 3 cats and the oldest one is a very grumpy old man sometimes. He doesn't like change. I was genuinely worried how he was going to adjust to us bringing home newborn twins, but from day one those have been his babies. They're 8 months old now. This cat has tried to push them in their swings when they were crying. He snuggles up next to them when they're fussy, and he'll even encourage them to use him as a bottle prop so their hands are free to grab at him despite their not yet having any idea of the concept of gentle. Saw a cat for the first time when he walked into my friend's house. He has a cat. My dog looked at the cat curiously, ears perked up and everything. Then he laid down and him and the cat didn't move for like a minute straight. All they did was look at each other. Then they finally moved and became friends. My cat is an extra scaredy cat. He army crawl runs to my husband. He has to be right against him, preferably under the covers. He loves his daddy. My dog has a funny bedtime ritual. He has to circle my laundry rack 3 times before we go to bed at night. And then he grabs his stuffy, lays on the bed with it and makes little weird soft screamy noises at it, then holds it in his mouth and kneads the bed like a cat making biscuits, huffing softly until he falls asleep. I have no idea why this is required, but it is. Sometimes when my girlfriend wants to sleep in, my dog gets wild and tries to wake her up by barking and running around the bed like a maniac. Usually when he does that I come in the room, grab him and close the door so he can't get back in. But now when I walk in, he immediately lays down and curls up with her, as if Hess trying to fool me into thinking he wasn't barking like a maniac 2 seconds earlier. My Schnauzer 100% reacts to and can emulate laughing. My wolfhounds can't. They can play, they can indicate play, they can show submission, but my Schnauzer 100% understands laughter. She knows how to encourage it, how to react to it, and that it's a positive thing. He purrs like all the time. Hess an old man now, so he doesn't move around much. Since I started working from home, he just sits on my bed and purrs while he watches me at my desk. Hal gets extra excited and start wheezing when I get close or pick him up because Hess purring so loud. But the cutest? Before he takes a nap, Hal curl into a fluffy purring ball, then let out a single sigh before closing his eyes and going to sleep. My son has an 8-month-old corn snake. When we pick her up, she likes to stretch out and bump her nose against human noses. My daughter calls that a snaky nose boop. Be alive. Every time I see them my quality of life increases by 10%, but my favorite thing is watching my 2 bunnies nap and cuddle together. Literally makes my heart cry. My cat likes to sleep directly on my pillow right above my head. Like a cat toupee. I guess we keep each other warm that way, but I like waking up and seeing his little nose. Hess super affectionate and I'm lucky to have him. I rent an apartment from my mother. She lives downstairs from me and we are very close and I got down to visit her every day. In the evening, when I'm ready for bed, I tell my dog say good night to Nonna, Grandma in Italian, and he stops whatever he's doing and goes to her for good night pets and kisses. I love how much they love each other. One of my previous cats used to sleep on my chest. It'd wake up looking at my cat looking down on me almost every morning during winter. I have a green cheek conure, type of small parrot for those who don't know. He can speak quite a bit. I love you. What's that? Peekaboo. It's okay. No. Time to go to bed. And wanna take a bath, among other phrases. One night I woke up probably near 1 a.m. because he had a nightmare, I assume, and started screaming. I opened the cage, picked him up, and put him on my shoulder. I started scratching his head and whispering it's okay. After a moment of silence, he said in the most tender voice, I love you. If you'll need a bird tax, I have some videos of him in my post history. The cat grooms the dog's ears every morning from around 7:30 till 7:55. Doggy sits at window watching the local bus stop and kitty leans down from her perch for ear lickings. Weekends get extra groom time till doggo figures out no school bus today. Our dog loves my husband, who works out of town. When my husband comes home she sits in his lap, puts her whole face to his, and the end tries to use her back legs to phase into him. Like she physically can't get any closer, but she's going to spend a half hour trying. This is just one of the cutest, but she'd been with me through some hard times and cared for me like I was her kitten. One day I had a runny nose, but not from crying, and grabbed for the box of puffs. She came running, curled up in my lap, put her paw on my face and with an inquiring mew, checked to make sure I was okay. My friends came to visit, and they brought their black lab and golden retriever who were the parents of my golden lab Kiwi. Kiwi started hiding all her stuffies up in my room by the closet. I didn't realize she'd been taking them up there until that night when I went to bed and saw a pile in the corner of the room. After they left I piled up all her toys on a passed out Kiwi to bring them back downstairs. The other day, my family got Jack in the Box and I was eating my fries when one of our dogs came downstairs. I was like, "Hi, Domino. You want a fry?" I presented him a fry. His eyes lit up, he hopped twice and trotted over to me. It was so cute, especially since our other dog spent her time under our TV trays begging for food quietly and obstructively. My dog was dying and we had to put her down. My wife, kids, and I went to the vet to say goodbye to her and I was crying my eyes out. The last thing she ever did before the vet did her work was lick my tears away. It's been years and I'm still not over her. Back when I had aquariums, my cat would sit near the tank and watch the fish. If you try not to think too hard about her likely intentions, it was pretty cute. Try to steal my candy. One day I was sitting down playing video games while munching on some gummy sharks. My iguana jumps on my lap and starts eating them. I let her have half of one, but none after that. She wasn't happy with that, and chased me around while I found a place to hide them where she couldn't get into. My dog is scared of tinfoil, so I came up to her and put it on her head. She ran off but I reassured her everything was okay. She sat down and I placed the tinfoil in front of her. She snuggled up with it. My dog now has a bunch of tinfoil sculptures. When I'm lying down the kitten likes to climb on my head and fall asleep when I let her. My cat loves playing fetch. She was upstairs one night and literally brought down a hairtie to the living room and meowed for me to throw it. She also waits for me by the door when I come home from work. My cat found a cherry tomato on the floor from another room and brought it over to show me his finding. He was so careful he didn't pierce the skin. My dog, Pug, snuck into my room and ate a Hot Pocket that was on my bed when I wasn't looking, and somehow that Hot Pocket went through his digestive system in about 10 seconds and he diarrheaed everywhere in my room. She lays her head on my shoulder every night. It's not uncommon to wake up like that. She's such a sweetheart. She also likes to use her butt as a weapon while fighting with the other dog. She whips it around and basically boxes out the other dog. The cutest thing my pets do is being best friends. For example, they cuddle together in the at night. Dog has big spoon, cat has little spoon, or the cat licks the dog clean. They share their toys, drink from the same bowl at the same time, or sit next to each other on window watch. Bay, my coonhound mix was so quiet after being rescued and didn't make a sound for quite a few days. The first time he did bark, it was silent. Then the barks sounded like a broken squeaker toy, raspy, whispery air. The vet though he may have been debarked, which broke my heart, but slowly, over several weeks, his bark got stronger. Best we could figure, his previous owners kept a bark collar on him, so he just quit barking. Has part coonhound, and the first time he bayed melted my heart. I have two big goldfish. If you separate them, they will longingly gaze at each other from across the room and be too depressed to swim. I did this once. They were misbehaving, and as soon as they were reunited they started to frolic around the tank side by side. They cuddle every night as well. God, do they love each other so much. She's passed away since then, but I honestly think the most beautiful thing my cat has done was greeting the paramedics at the door and practically showing them to where I was, after I had fainted/hit my head once. I was still slightly out of it, and the paramedics were like, "Damn, you've got a useful cat."